You're waiting for Thank you for trying to contact me. I was sitting and taking halfway through lunch. Okay, next time.
All right. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. All right, good afternoon. Welcome to October. All right, another one's in the books. We'll get started with Miss Etta. You brought some stuff. I think we're going to go right from you to you.
Yes.
And then we'll go off script to the health center. All right.
All right. Let's bow a moment for a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, we have to begin our prayer in gratitude and thanksgiving, thanking you for your arms of protection that extended around each of us during our past few days. And as we give you gratitude, we also want to lift up in prayer those who have suffered damage or loss from this recent storm. Oh God, we just ask that you be a comfort where there needs to be comfort, to be a God of peace where there's chaos and confusion, that you be a God of provision for those who need resources to begin again or to make repairs or start anew. Then God, just sit next to those who are grieving the loss of loved ones who may have lost their life during this time. It reminds us of your grace and your mercy toward us. Thank you for the opportunity that we have to openly exercise our faith here in our community, and we can support one another, encourage one another, bear one another's burdens. Now today, as we come and just review the events that are happening in our campus for this month, we are reminded that you are our center and you are our hope, you are our guide. Be with our leaders as well as those in the community. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, I will make mine brief since I'm the opening. This month is Clergy Appreciation Month. How many of you knew that? Okay, you get a prize. There are prizes today. On October the 10th, we have the Faith Through Fellowship Supper, and that will be at 4:30 in the main dining room. Even if you come for 3 meals, I am asking that you would sign up so that I will have an accurate count to give Eric. My goal is to have 100 people, and I think as of Monday, my count was at 85, and then I had 3 more that I added on today. So if you would get those numbers to me so we can have that. We're going to have meatloaf, mashed potatoes, green peas, baby carrots, soup and salad, and then I was going to do cookies, but by popular request, we're going to have key lime cake. So I'll have chocolate chip cookies for those who don't like key lime cake. So we will do that. But my girlfriend's already got her order in, and she'll have those delivered to us on that morning. So we will have that. And it is complimentary. It's a thank you to all of you for just keeping spiritual life as the head of our community, continuing to celebrate those who've worked for the church. Many of you have had a job or two in the church, whether you've been pastors or ministers, whether you're clergy or lay. Many of you have been secretaries. I think most of you have been on some type of committee in your church. If you haven't, I have a committee for you. So I just want to celebrate that. So please come. Our managers are going to help with the service that evening, and it should be a great time of fellowship. There's no formal program, and it's faith through fellowship, so you don't have to be a particular faith to be in attendance. You just have faith in God and you show up. So that'll be great. On October the 8th, in the Porter McGrath building on the second floor, Keisha has asked me to partner with her once a month to do an activity, and so we decided, last month we did exercise to our favorite tunes, and it was well attended. We had a great time. The nursing students from Florida Southern actually helped us out, so the new group told me I had to do something to top that. So this time, not just with music, we're going to cook to music this time. So it's cooking with the chaplain. We had to make it spiritual. So Doug, it is spiritual. It's cooking with the chaplain. And we're going to have tomato soup and grilled cheese that will be prepared there using induction plates. And we'll be singing our favorite songs and getting requests and also exercising. So that's for Porter McGrath on October the 8th at 2:30. Now, not to leave you all out, because I know you're saying, well, Etta, that's Porter McGrath. I can't attend. October 23rd. And if you look in My W Life, all of these events will be in there. But October 23rd, and by Ann's desk at 2:30, it's a Wednesday. It'll be chaplain and spice and everything nice. Okay, remember we got to keep it, we're keeping the chaplain and those titles there, so you'll know that they're coming from the spiritual life or coming from the chaplain's office. And that's going to be gingerbread cookies and hot apple cider. So make sure you turn by there, and they're not going to be your gingerbread cookies, you know, not the molasses ones in the bag. It's a special treat, so make sure you come by. Now, they probably won't be as good as Judy Blevins, but that's okay. I'm learning. But yeah, so it'll be gingerbread cookies and hot apple cider at the Porter McGrath lobby. November is our month of gratitude, and I know some of you have gotten gratitude journals from me. I have a few more, so if anybody wants the gratitude journals, then I think I've got about 8 left. And in the journals, it just gives you some good thoughts, and each day it starts out with you writing 3 things that you're grateful for, and how can I make today great? What were the best moments for today? Just simple questions to remind us on gratitude on there. So if you want one of these, you're welcome to have it. But at the first of the month, I'm doing a gratitude challenge for the campus because November is our month of Thanksgiving. Each of you are going to receive the 30 Days of Gratitude bingo card, and each day it'll tell you on there, kind of direct your thoughts on what you're to be grateful for on that day. What are you to focus in on? And so they're simple things, but you can fill it in. You don't have to turn them back in, but it's just something tangible just to remind us of all the gratitude that we should have in this season, because truly God's been good. Those will be at Ann's desk or in Four Bunker living room, and you'll be able to pick those up, and I'll remind you of that. And then in November, it'll be an opportunity for us to share in the campus with communion for the campus. And on Communion Sunday, which will be World Communion Day, it'll fall on November the 24th. So it'll be the Sunday before Thanksgiving at 3:30 here in the chapel. Those that would like to attend, you can come and we'll do communion for our campus as we prepare for our Advent season. I'm not going to give away what we're doing for Advent. I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to come and be in attendance. We've got lots of surprises. I have hidden everything because Deanne and Linda have already been to my office to check. I have already hidden, but it's going to be beautiful. We've got some beautiful things that you all have really supplied with the chapel donations. We were able to purchase some beautiful things for the chapel for our Advent season. I will tell you that our colors will be lavender and purple this year. We did blue last year, so it's going to be really, really nice. So I hope that you will be able to attend at least one chapel service and see what's going on since we have the 5 Sundays in December. Any questions or comments for me? All righty, you're a great group, thank you. And they did what I asked, Shirley. Did you notice they did what I asked?
All right, we are going to go a little bit off script and go to the health center's report because yesterday, today, and tomorrow they have, I hope you do have a question there, Miss Etta.
I got a question?
Yes.
All right.
She's looking at you, I think, and raising her hand.
Oh, no, I know what you want.
You want a book? Okay. But we have the Joint Commission, or Joint Commission, JCO, who is one of our accreditation agencies, and they are on site doing their re-accreditation survey. So go ahead, take it away.
You know,
Gotta hit the little button there.
Following Miss Etta is always, tough because she has all the good stuff on her calendar, and we're kind of like very mundane. So yeah, as Doug alluded to, my name's Alyssa. If I haven't, I know we have like a new resident that just moved in 251. So if you see her around, say hello. So we do have the JACO survey here for the next 3 days. One of the things that the surveyor mentioned is that we have the post-acute certification designation, which is very rare to get. And as you know, as you guys need rehab, you don't always have to go to the hospital to receive rehab. If you can always reach out to our rehab department. They can come do an assessment. We can contact your insurance company and get authorization if you feel like, maybe you're you're a little off balance or you need like a little refresh. We also encourage you all to participate with Allison. Does everybody know Allison? Okay. She has a lot of physical activities that she does that can also assist and help you with your gait and balance and your strengthening. That's always very, very important. The other thing we like to talk about is on Tuesday we had our flu clinic. I know some residents decided to not get the flu and the COVID vaccine at the same time, and a few of you also asked about RSV. I'll let Dawn talk a little bit more about that area, but I will tell you that we do have access to the vaccine. If you didn't receive it, I know I received a couple of calls. Some people were not well on the day of the clinic and they still wanted to receive the vaccine. So you can reach out to either Katie or myself and we can give you direction on how to still receive those additional vaccines if necessary. Last but not least, it just kind of slipped my mind. As always, practice infection control practices, and I'm going to turn it over to Dawn.
Yeah, so as you said, October 1 was the beginning of our flu season. So we have administered the vaccines to the long-term care residents and short-term that have elected to have it. We'll continue to promote the vaccine and people getting the flu shot, COVID shot. I will follow up with Phil from the pharmacy to ask about the RSV vaccine and find out that information. As far as we're ongoing with the accreditation right now, so things are going well. So that'll be done after tomorrow. And thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Thank you.
All right. Next up on the agenda is Miss Andrea. Almost said Andrea. Andrea with our sales update.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, just made it right in time. How about that?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andrea Saradsky. I'm the Regional Sales Director, filling in until we find the right person for here as the Sales Director. So just an update, we've had some really exciting things going on. For the month of September, we've had a total of 6 people close on homes here. We have 2 people that are going into apartments. We have 3 that are going into homes, and 1 that went into assisted living. All right, so
awesome.
New residents, I think this is the first time ever we've had that many in 1 month commit and make the decision to come to Westminster Lakeland. So super excited about that. In August, we had 3 new residents move into independent living. So we've had a lot of great movement going on here. Year to date, we've had, starting January 1st, Westminster Lakeland's fiscal year goes from April 1st to March 31st, but the numbers that were pulled this morning was from January 1st, so it's for the calendar year. We've had 22 move-ins, 17 transfers, and we are currently at 155 occupied. So right now we have 18 available apartments, 7 houses and duplexes, that's true. 11 apartments, which 2 are spoken for now, as well as a 3rd today. So things are moving really fast around here, so we're really thrilled when we're walking people around, how your smiling faces and all the wonderful comments you make to people that are considering. We actually have 2 sisters that are be moving in by the end of the week into B219, Lisa and Emma. They're delightful. So we're really excited about them moving in this week. And when I say people moving in, it doesn't mean they're physically here per se. It means they've closed on a home or an apartment, and they will be physically moving in shortly thereafter. So that's it. We've got an open house coming up October 9th, and that will be from 10 in the morning till 1 p.m. for new people coming. A newspaper-looking newsletter was dropped in the mail, and we've gotten quite a bit of responses for that. So a lot of really great things going on.
There's a good picture of me in there if you haven't seen it.
There's a great picture of Doug in there, and a beautiful picture of Etta as well. So we've got some lovely pictures, and we have just one thing I want to mention. Does anyone know how much the resident referral here is if you do refer someone that moves in? I'm sorry?
Close.
No more. Done. As soon as you refer somebody and they move in, you get $2,400 towards your monthly service fee all at once. That's starting October 1st. So, does everybody know where my office is? Get your list of friends to come in. We'd love to have you. Invite your friends in, or if you've never done a housewarming party, or if you belong to a special interest group, we'd love to host that group. So certainly we appreciate all of your support and your help as we're going on this journey. Our goal is to be 100% occupied very, very soon. We have some wonderful incentives that are going on right now that are helping us to get there. So does anyone have any questions for me? New ideas for marketing, let me know. You know where I am. And I appreciate all that you do for us.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. There's Andrea. Not Andrea. Andrea.
Andrea Saradsky.
Her evil twin, I guess you'd say, is Andrea. All right. Next up is Miss Amanda with Resident Life. Come on up.
Okay, so as you all know, this is the week for active aging, and Ellison has done a beautiful job with this. We've been working all week long. I know her and Miss Etta went to the L.B. Brown home on Monday. Tuesday, we did the kids pack. We were supposed to do Circle B today, but our date has moved into Friday. But nonetheless, our Fresh Air Gang did their picnic in the Helenberry Garden today, and they looked so wonderful. So we're continuing to give, and having a good time with one another. And then Allison got a couple more things going on, like the balance and a couple more things she's doing. So keep an eye out on My W Life informational slides, the digital channels. That's Health Center ALF is 732. So look out for these things, because these are our new things that we are trying to approach and get used to, so that way it's right at your fingertip. And everybody on the bike end is working so hard to make sure that all this information is on here for you. Need any help with anything, please don't hesitate to let us know. We have Miss Evelyn Winter. She is one of our ambassadors, and she loves to do the one-on-one with you. But Miss Allison Braun, she is awesome. She will do a group just like this to get you all caught up and set up with the My W Life. And it's on your Android, your iPhone, and your desktop, and laptops. Can't leave that out. So we're reaching out in all areas. And then also we're getting ready to do, if you're looking on your My W Life, we're setting up October the 16th for Bach Tower Gardens. It's all inclusive with a tour, the garden, and lunch. So if you are interested, please get with me so I can get that set up for us. And we're doing it for a group, so we need 15 people so we can get the group discount. We also have Miss Debbie is doing a circle bee on October 23rd. So if you're not able to go on Friday, that's okay, because Miss Debbie is going to do the same thing with the bird watching, the group tram. So look out for these things, because you got to sign up. And we want you to remember, when you're going on My W Life, it's registered that you can click in. You don't even have to bother anybody. Just click in and put your name in and say, I'm going. Change your mind about going, let us know, we'll take you off. Easy peasy, no worries for you. And then also, Miss Debbie also has her veteran breakfast. Now, this is November the 8th. So you see how we're pushing everything out. Please, please get in so we can get these numbers in for transportation. Other than that, I think we have pretty much covered everything for resident services.
We covered everything except for the 2024 new bus that we got next week.
I wasn't going to steal your shine.
Right.
That's for you. Right. So you have any
event.
questions or suggestions for resident services at this time? If not, thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day.
So we did, in case anybody didn't see it or hadn't heard, we got a brand new bus. Right, it came last week. A little ahead of schedule, because we used it to help evacuate the Bradenton folks, up here, from Bradenton to here. And then ultimately, John and Bob and Mario, John in particular, they drove all over the state to Orlando, then up to Dunedin and back, delivering, picking people up and delivering. They did a heck of a job. They should get a round of applause. It's nice. The bus is great. It's quiet. It's got Bluetooth stereo in it, air conditioners that work when you turn them on. It's funny how the simple things, right? Really like, all right. But yep, new bus. We just got to get it wrapped. All right. Next is Marcus with our dining report, dietary.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? How was lunch today?
Lunch was good. I like the baked ziti.
All right, thank you very much. All right.
Taco salad looked good too.
We definitely want to start transitioning everything into the My W Life. So if you notice, like today, we had the special of the day on the My W Life app. So moving forward, we're going to try to upload as many menus as we can in advance to try to encourage getting more residents to our dining room. I want to, first of all, just offer my sincere thank you and gratitude. We had a dine-in survey recently. I think it was back in August or September. When I first started in July, I think our survey score was at 72%, and we got it up by 14%, and we're at 86%. So I just want to thank everyone. We had one of the largest jump in the company, and we want to try to get that benchmark up to 90% when it comes to resident satisfaction. We have brunch coming up on the 4th Sunday of October, which will be October 27th. All right. This will be our third time that we're going to hopefully try to get it right and make sure that everyone is happy. I encourage everyone on the comment cards. I have a total of 87 comment cards that I have received. This is your way of communicating with dining, whether it's suggestions, ways to improve, things that might be out of place. This is the best way to communicate with dining, and we'll try to get everything on there. Besides that, that's all I got.
Any questions for Marcus?
Thank you.
No pressure. All right, we're going to bring up Miss Katie next. She's going to give us the ALF report and where we stand currently with COVID.
Hello, good afternoon. I just wanted to let you know and thank everyone that came out for the flu shot clinic yesterday. It was successful, and I'm sorry if there was some miscommunications about times and whatnot, but that was our only flu shot clinic at that point. We're going to have a conversation with the Westminster company to see if maybe there can be another flu shot clinic. I know that some people missed out. So October 15th, also Susan McPhail Taylor let me know to talk to you about October 15th at 3 p.m. There's another chat about the Medicare, and she's going to be there with some people, and they can have time slots for everybody to sign up. They can do some one-on-one talking about Medicare and all the options.
She's going to bring a group called Shine.
Yes.
And they can help provide one-on-one information about what plan you're using.
In ALF, we had Mrs. Verrett move in, and we love her. I think she's hilarious. She has years of experience as a nurse, and she's a great person to talk to. She likes the dining room. She complimented the dining room today, so she's happy to be here. She moved into second floor ALF. And as for COVID, right now, fingers crossed, we're all good.
All clear.
There are no COVID cases. Someone that was sick is doing better, and everybody's off precautions. I still want to be mindful of what's the first way to prevent COVID? All right, good. Wear masks. If you're feeling ill, stay away from other people. And we appreciate everything that you guys do to make sure that we don't have COVID. All right? Also, please email me if there are people that have had flu shots or COVID shots so that I can update your immunization records. Email me with the dates and the when and where.
They're still putting that stuff on Florida Shots? So if you're having another provider do it, ask them to upload that information to Florida Shots. That way, if you go somewhere else, they can look it up on Florida Shots, and it's right there. Because I don't know about y'all, but I always lose the little card they give me. It's a statewide database that has all your immunization records in it. Mm-hmm. Typically, the provider will have access to it. Thank you. All right. Next, we're going to bring up Mr. John. He's going to talk to us about what's going on with maintenance.
Thank you, sir. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I know one thing, myself and Mandy were working with Spectrum today. They have set up next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to come around to all the houses and apartments to install the new cable boxes. They just showed up today, but we got with them, and they're going to be out next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mandy's going to be putting that on W Life, so it'll be a reminder to everybody, okay?
So for everybody, right, that has a small little box about that big, little DTA box, you're going to get a wide, thinner box for the high definition box.
That's correct.
It's part of the upgrade.
Last week was an interesting week with driving the bus. I was personally the one driving the new bus back and forth, the one over the Skyway Bridge about 10 times in a 2-day period, back and forth. It was quite an adventure, but our team pulled together, did really well. We got the campus prepped as best that we could. I believe we have everything put back out. We do have a few mattresses left that we're still in the process of gathering up that was used for sleeping quarters for staff and other folks that came over and stayed at our community for a couple of days. We got the sail shades put back up out here. We're doing a few minor things down in Terrace Gardens, a couple trees that didn't get blowed down, but just limbs that need attention. So just in case if we get another storm anytime soon, they're already taken care of. We had a couple of gutters that got a little overflowed and detached, and we got those put back up as well. All right. Anybody got any questions? Yes, Ms. Brewster.
I'd like to comment that and compliment you on a wonderful tree job you did this morning. And that tree there really was in bad shape. I was waiting for one of these big trucks to bring it down. And now they drove down.
Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome. I'll let the guys know. Yep. You're welcome.
Repeat that, sir.
So Miss Margie was complimenting the team on trimming some trees that were hanging down and that are either going to be knocked down by a passing truck or garbage truck, but they got them down ahead of that. And it would not be a meeting unless they're doing some lawn work directly outside the window, right? Normally when I'm on a conference call in my office, they're out there with the weed whacker right outside. They're just like looking at me waving, and I'm like, I can't hear you, you know. But they, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they're out there. So, yeah, it's great to get. They've done a lot of tree trimming, you know, on campus, and you know, we'll continue to have it done as it's needed. Right?
You had a question over here? Yes, ma'am.
I know you were busy with hurricane, but has anything been decided about either the 822 Lakeside Court? And I know you've had men back there looking to see what they could do because of the water coming down, just in normal storms.
Yeah, we did a substantial amount of work over there already. We did have our regional guy come in, Rick's report to. They looked at it, they gave us a few more ideas, and we will be addressing those as soon as we get the opportunity.
Okay, because I know you have these flags set up, and the flags are going to disappear if there's another storm, because they're going to be gone. But, you know, I know there's a path there, and then between the two houses. So I don't know if you really came to any conclusion about what to do.
No, we had all that sod and stuff put in where we cleaned out those trenches. His suggestion was to do away with the sod and make it gravel in there. So we'll be pulling up that little bit of sod there, and we'll reuse it someplace where we're going to put gravel in there that will give it more of a free flow for the water, and also clear up any obstructions that may catch with the
But is that
with
going
grass.
to work in the back? My back is all grass.
Ma'am.
So you're going to dig that up too, or?
No, not at this time. We're not. No, ma'am.
That's where the water comes in.
Well, that's what they are looking at. I can tell you. So, Mike, for me. I can tell you, we are looking at that area there. I've been behind your home there, and on the other site where it ultimately comes out. The big thing for us to do, and what they were doing prior to the storm, was monitoring the drains. Because what happens is, when the water comes off of that or above that little swale there, the little drainage ditch, it flows out into the drain grate and then out, you know, to the street. But what happened when we had the real bad rainstorm, about 3 weeks ago, those all clogged up, and it had no place to go but into the back of y'all's homes. So the big thing is to keep those things clear, and as we manipulate them, is not to put anything back in there that will clog up the drain in the future. We had the drain here between Bunker and the chapel where the air conditioners are down on the side there, that the drain there got clogged up with mulch, and it completely filled that area up right below the transformers, right? And I know that, as a result of Helene, everybody's seen the news, right, where there's houses catching on fire and whatnot, right? So we don't want that. So AJ was here, Alex was here, and it wasn't below the water yet, but so he reached over, pulled the circuit breakers out. They're like manual breakers, and turned them off, and we went and talked to the residents affected, and those 4 units didn't have air conditioning that night. But the root cause of all that is that as rain comes downhill from South Lakeside and then through the parking lot, and then we have the Memorial Garden, it just keeps flowing south, and it's picking up mulch and grass clippings and leaves and everything else, and it just funneled right down through there. And if you walk by there, there's no mulch right now because it's out in Lake Hunter or downstream, right? Right, so it's we're gonna have to figure out, if we put rocks down there, there's like a glue substance, they call it mulch glue, but they have the same thing for rocks. Whatever we put back, we want to make sure that it doesn't float and won't get swept downstream. So if we look at that swale back there behind y'all's area, if it needs to be dug out more to handle a little bit more water before it goes into the drain, we may have to look at that and what the landscaping is around it. So we're taking all that into consideration. Yep. Yeah, Miss Debbie, mentioned, pine straw. Anything that won't float, and we could, maybe if, I don't know if the mulch glue substance would work on pine straw or not, but yeah. So it might be a option. All right, any other questions for maintenance immediately?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're very welcome. I will say one thing. We did, so it's not an issue with the W Life. We had a resident over the weekend use my W Life to put in that her AC was out. That was from the email that it sends to myself, Rick, and Lisa. That was at 7:57 in the morning. Around lunchtime, I got the call that the resident had called maintenance wondering where someone was at. On the weekends, if there's an emergency or after hours there's an emergency, need to call the security phone. The maintenance team carries that, and we'll be able to service you much quicker on emergencies like that, ACs and plumbing issues.
Yeah, I know Rick has his work email that goes to his phone. I don't know if yours does or not, but he may not see his work email, may not have the alerts on. So, but anything on the weekends, it's best to call.
Just don't want to delay in something like that, especially 90 degrees outside.
During last month's meeting, the subject of window washing came up. And during that conversation, there was a question asked that there was a vendor that WLK prefers us to engage with, and Rick said he would get it to us. And so I'd like to ask again if there's a preferred vendor for window washing.
And will you take a note about that? I did see your email about it. I don't know who that is, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, I mean, they should be washing them. I hope when as we're pressure washing them, right? Did we do windows? Okay. Yeah.
Righty. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, John. Yeah. All right. As I wanted to, I've been talking with several of you all, and I wanted to go over a list of some of our projects that we're currently doing on campus, along with the pressure washing. I can tell you that Rick and John's crew is getting more staff. We have a couple people that have been out on FMLA, and we haven't been able to do anything with those positions because it's a protected thing. So when the opportunity does come, we will take care of that. But I was talking with the executive committee the other day about everything that we're looking at as far as capital improvements for the community. I have a relatively thick binder that I've been working with Mandy and getting documentation from around the campus to support the capital needs of the community. And we're looking at stuff that might be like a safety area or a safety issue first, make sure that we tackle those items first. So like if we have cracked concrete like we do between the A and B buildings here in the Bunker parking lot where it's unlevel, or if we have an unlevel sidewalk somewhere, we're going to push that forward first. So everybody, I don't know if everybody's been to the parking lot between A and B buildings, but it's very uneven because of our lovely oak trees. We love the trees, right? But we can't cut down the trees. So we have to make the concrete work for us. So we have, we're going to get that done as soon as possible. We already got vendors giving us bids on that, and we have submitted the PRs, and we'll get going on that. We have some carpet that is being prioritized, in particular in the Helen DeLay building. I'm sure everybody knows the carpet that I'm talking about between the chapel here, the door, and the elevator going over to the dining room, right? Everybody knows that green carpet, right? Yep. So we have a lot of that green carpet around campus, right? So most of it is getting replaced, right? We're also looking at a number of areas for paint work. If you haven't seen when it's rained here or the humidity's high, for some reason the paint on the railings will bubble up and bubble up. I don't know what you call it. It's sort of feathers and sticks up. So we're going to have those, railings, stripped and then painted. I don't know if we're going to stick with the green paint, if that's preferred color, but we'll look at it at that time. Another thing that we were looking at actually here in the chapel was we were considering whether or not the chapel is going to need to be tented. We know we have some chairs in the chapel that have had over time some termite visitors. We've taken the chairs out to the houses as they've been tented and put the chairs there to be treated. Currently, the opinion is that the chapel itself doesn't need to be tented, but we'll continue to monitor that. So we might be taking that one off the list. I may have talked about it previously. On the capital budget list are air conditioners and roofs, right? So we're budgeting each year for 10 air conditioners and 10 roofs, right? And if we need them, great. If we don't need them, that's okay as well, right? We're just trying to put a contingency plan into place to have the money allocated if needed to replace the roofs, right? During the storm, we did have, I think, only one roof that we lost shingles off of, and that was on a ridge cap. They came in and they repaired that roof, I think, within 2 days, right? So there was no water intrusion or anything else there. The other thing, which is a big project, is our walkways, right? It's in and around the chapel here, in particular because it seems to be sort of central located. We're going to focus on this area first. The gray paint, the gray traction paint, the gray, there's various coatings, rubber coatings, I think that's down there. They had the vendor that came out, I want to say on Monday, and looked at it, and we're going to move forward with a sort of a test spot at the bottom of the stairwell here, and they're going to go up or down the steps, a couple steps, to show us what they can do prior to moving ahead with them, a full sale application. But what's going to be involved in that is they're going to have to bring a concrete grinder out that's going to remove whatever substrate or matrix or metrics or whatever they call it is on top of the concrete, all the way down to bare concrete. Then they're going to have to seal the concrete so the moisture can't come up through the concrete. And then, because right now, if you watch it when it rains, there'll be places out here that'll be bubbling, right? They'll see it bubble up like there's air underneath it, right? It's because the moisture is coming up through the concrete. So they're going to strip it down to bare concrete, then put a sealer on it, and then put a non-skid coating on it. So it's going to do a couple things for us, right? Big thing is make it non-skid. But the thing that I like the most is that it's going to be flat, right? So as you look at it, if there's cracks or crevices in it, they're going to grind those out, fill them, and then they'll be coated over so it'll look like it's all brand new concrete again, which would be nice, right? So it'll be aesthetically pleasing. You look at it now, we've sort of grown to tolerate it, right? But it needs to be fixed. So it'll be a big thing. But there's thousands of linear feet of walkway on our campus. If you can imagine, the 3 stories of A building, the 2 stories of bunker, the areas around here, downstairs by the hair salon, over in garden apartments, right? Which I know the garden apartments on the bottom have I think it's green concrete paint over there. All of that will be stripped, right? So it's a pretty big undertaking. I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you that, like this area in particular, it would take about a week to do this passageway, here at the chapel, right? So, does that mean that we're going to have to, close down, the chapel that week? I don't know just yet. Depends on how long they can work each day. Again, they're grinding concrete, so it's going to be loud and dusty. I'm pretty sure it's done with a wet sander type grinder apparatus. I've watched it on YouTube.
Is that what you do for fun?
My wife and I, we bought a house in Mulberry, and it has travertine floors. And we're trying to figure out how to get them finished, and you have to grind the concrete. It's concrete, right? Travertine is this type of concrete. So the guy goes, it's nothing like that. He shook his head at me. I was like, all right. So, but I'm sure it'll be loud and, but it'll be dusty. So, again, like downstairs, if we reroute everybody downstairs, when we do downstairs, the hair salon that week will probably be closed, right? Because it'll be blocked off because it'll be, grinding. So we'll provide everybody notice, when that does happen. And then as we move on, we're going to have to do some sort of pressure washing or something to the graded graded stairs, right here to get some of that layers of paint off of that and then get that refinished. And we have to figure that out. It may need to be sandblasted or something to, get down to a place where we can, recoat it. Anybody have any questions about the flooring or anything else I've mentioned so far? No? Okay. I can tell you the one thing that we're also doing as far as capital budgets and whatnot, Mandy's been helping me a lot with this, is contract review. There are hundreds and hundreds of contracts that we have with different vendors, right, Mandy? Right, a lot of them, right? And some of them are okay. Some of them are not real beneficial from a community standpoint, right? So we want to review those, find out the termination date. If we can term them, we can't term them, if we can pay them off, reach an agreement. We're looking at the lawn service is one of them, of course, the floor lawn. That's sort of been on a topic of conversation for a while for different things. We would like, for the amount of money that, you all dedicate to having this done, we would like to have a little higher level of service for it, right? So that's, I think, about as plain as I can be with it, right? So we like a little bit more from whoever our lawn care company is, right, ultimately. We already talked, Andrea came in, we had our net growth in sales, which is awesome, contract review, lawn care. Addendums to the resident handbook. I currently have a list of 22 addendums that we'll be putting out for different things within the resident handbook. If anybody has any input, observations, suggestions, whatever, it's a safe space to email me. Some of you do that, frequently. It's okay. I encourage it, right? I'm not too proud, right? Go ahead and let me know what you're thinking. If there's a better mousetrap out there, let's figure out, what it is together and get it going. I know there's some language discrepancies between the old resident handbook and the new ones. A couple of those we're already going to identify in an addendum. And if there's anything else that you've noticed, typos, whatever, spelling things, please let me know, and I'll get on it as quick as I can, right? Stuff to get posted in My W Life if you find errors, omissions, whatever in there as you're perusing it, let us know, let Samantha know. We all have access to it. Each department head should be updating their portion of My W Life. So, the menus and stuff, when they're updated and you see stuff on there, that's coming directly from Marcus. So Marcus will have, should have, intimate knowledge about what's going on there, right? The resident life, activities, events, Samantha will know, the wellness stuff, Allison will know. I'm putting stuff in there about weather alerts, and the TGI FYI goes in there. I hope even if you don't have, because somebody else in the world has your same name, you have the generic WLK sign-in and 078 as the generic password. Again, WLK as the generic login, 078 as the generic password. You can go in there, it'll stay logged in. You'll still get the alerts, right? It'll come, it'll beep at you as long as you're logged in. So you can even do it, as you're coming in looking at things. So it's everybody get the weather alerts. Do they find them helpful? Could I put something different, more or less? Yeah, all right. I'm trying to put the link in there so you can click on it to National Weather Service. We've been watching, there's a couple storms down in the southern Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea that are moving up. It looks like one's going to move up and sort of fizzle out, and then another one like right behind it that's might pick up and come over a little bit more over towards Pensacola. There's one out in the Atlantic, I think, I want to say Kirk. I think, yeah, so sort of the right letters, wrong spelling. But yeah, so it's out there, but I think it's currently scheduled to go, north and then northeast up by maybe Bermuda. But so we're watching it. We did have 28 residents and 17 team members from Bradenton come up. It was a very successful evacuation, from there. Our team, their team, you all are all to be, congratulated. We were very hospitable to our guests. They had a wonderful time. We received a number of compliments. Marcus did, him and his team, from the guests there. They thought the food was delightful and that their cook should come up and take some lessons, right? And that's what we want to hear, right? So it's so that's good stuff. I don't know what they're feeding them down there, but anyhow, but it's I can't tell you guys there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on. Marcus and I talk just about every day. He's really working hard to improve the program, and we do have the quality of life surveys coming up at the end of November. It's right during we're getting here into the holidays and the Thanksgiving. It's right in the time then. I think it comes out November 20th. The last day will be the 25th. They'll be reviewing several things: dining, housekeeping, maintenance, security, wellness, and then ancillary departments, pharmacy, and transportation. Please know that unlike comment cards, right, that we get, whether it be a comment card through MyW Life or a comment card, physically handwritten, the comment cards are a tool, right? They're a tool for us to make an improvement on, right? If we can, you have a specific, situation in dining, and you want to comment on what happened to you right then. The quality of life survey is a report card, right? It's a little bit different, thing. So we want to know, from, the comment cards, what can we do with that particular meal to make it better, right? What didn't you like? What did you like, right? You don't always have to be negative. And then the quality of life survey is a report card about, different departments and how well they're doing, right? So it's a little bit different function, all right? Anybody have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
How come marketing department isn't in my?
Why isn't the marketing department in MyW Life?
It's the only department in here that's not there.
Yeah, I think outside.
Are you talking about the handbook, or just have a input into it?
We had to try to make contact. I came down 3 times and couldn't find anybody.
It's not in the team member directory.
We will. Mandy is taking a note right there. I'm burning a hole right through Neil's head and looking at her. All right, she's taking a note. All right, yes, ma'am.
This should have come up with Marcus, but I forgot it. Today at noon, I sat at table 13 on the bare floor. I was in a chair that has 4 wheels on it. There should be none of those 4 wheels on the bare floor because, whoops, it'll go like that. Fortunately, I was at my walker and I was able to get up safely because other people helped me hold it.
Oh, Lord, did you fall?
You could fall very easily.
Okay, all right.
I did not, but somebody who didn't realize it could very easily end up,
We do have chairs in the dining room that have 4 wheels, and most of them have 2. So we'll check that out, and we could replace it with 2. Even those, be careful with. On our capital, right, going back to that, that's something else that we're looking at. Chairs, furnishings for the dining room, furnishings for the lobby, artwork for the lobby that's not pictures of hamburgers and french fries. Some simple things, right? Paint in the dining room, carpeting, the flooring in there. we're talking about, I think I've spoken with some of you all about whether we do the whole thing in laminate, and if we do the whole thing in laminate, would it be, would the echo too bad in there? Should we just do maybe the center walkway when you come in and laminate, and then do the rest in carpet? The carpet's a very dark green patterned carpet, now, so it makes the room look a little dark. So there's stuff to work on there. Yes, ma'am.
And one of the things in your ED report says guest rooms.
Guest rooms, thank you. It's in my scribble, I got it here. So I'm excited to talk to you about the guest rooms, right? I know I don't see her here today. We've had different folks, offer to help, and we continue to want your help, we're going to take 2 of the guest rooms and remodel them, right? The foundations is going to supply the funding for that. I think we have a contract with Haverty's to get new furniture. We're going to get new tiles for the roof. We're going to paint the tile hangers. Help me, John, if I'm calling it wrong. Because they have the perforated acoustic ceiling tiles that have sort of the sculpted, look to them. And the newer ones really don't have those indents, so they look more like a solid roof. So we're going to put, different tiles in there. And then, so the current, this is just idea, right? The current idea is to take where room B and C are and make them guest rooms 1 and 2, or A and B, whatever you are happy with calling them. And then taking guest room A, which is right underneath us right here, right? And putting in a double door or sliding door or something on the side of it, and extending the roof over it and making that our bistro. Yeah, see?
Going to have any other guest rooms some other place?
Well, the standard is, I keep getting the standard. The standard is 2 guest rooms, and we're desperately looking for an alternate dining venue, where to have that, right? Without spending gajillion dollars or tearing something down, right? So when we were talking about capital budgets and stuff, and when we were at our last management training meeting in Orlando 2 weeks ago, Jeff Coates, the head of foundations, said, let us do, we'll give you the money to do those rooms. Just, tell me how much, right? So I am not an interior designer. Any of you all that have, a feeling about it, I'll gladly take your, input. So we're going to do those 2 rooms and, get them fixed up nice. I was trying to, think about a way. Has anybody stayed in, like a Marriott lately, or a Hilton Garden Suites, where they have like a little kitchenette thing? So something sort of like on that thread, modernize them a little bit, make them, efficient, and repaint them.
Close to the kitchen too, so you could easily move materials back.
Right. So we're looking. I already talked to Marcus about, about that concept. What could we put in there? What do we need to do that, wouldn't be a burden, to the chapel, that we wouldn't smell things in the chapel, and right? It's my understanding that, if, the gal downstairs doing the nails, the toes or whatever, uses something, it comes right up in here. So we need to consider that, and, but I think it's an opportunity. I think it looks nice. It's right out over the lake. I think it deserves further, research, right?
Especially if the foundation will pay for it.
Well, the foundation will pay for the rooms, the guest rooms. We may be able to get them for the other thing. We also are getting the foundation, or working, I'm not getting them. We're working with the foundation on the gazebo area. We're working with the foundation on the water entry area out there, maybe to do a deck, and then like a covered deck instead of a gazebo. Sometimes repairing it. I know I've talked to, I think, Neil about that at some point. Neil and them are working on, they got all other projects they're working on. with the activity fund, which is great, good stuff. And then the last thing I want to cover with you all, I'm running out of time here, I got 30 seconds or so, is the Loving Care Fund. We've had some questions about the Loving Care Fund. In particular, it's my understanding, I haven't seen it. I know that some of you all are aware of it, but there's apparently something in there about every 3 years needing to supply updated financials to stay eligible for the Loving Care Fund, right? Well, with Westminster, they do your financial qualification one time, right, when you move in, and then that's it. When you do apply, if and when you apply, for needing the Loving Care Fund, they reassess and do a look back at that time to ensure that you did not spend your, resources frivolously.
You mean I can't buy your yacht?
Well, if you were buying my yacht, you'd be okay. I'm telling you. But no, you can't buy yachts.
Airplanes?
Depends on what airplane it was, but no, it's yeah. So that's the. I can put that out in a letter so everybody has it and it's clear. But I think initially, right when everybody moves in, they do your financial background, they do the actuarials right on everybody, and so that's it, right? And I think at that time, I know at that time everybody is advised that the Loving Care Fund and now the Benevolence Assistance Program, which is basically a mirror image of one another, will be available to you if and when you need it, provided, right, the big air quotes thing. Can't really raise my arm, right? So air quotes is we didn't squander, our resources.
Who determines what's squandering?
Not me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to the Benevolence Assistance Committee, and that committee I know would be, consist of probably our CFO, Hank Keith, probably our COO, Gary Hennis, probably our Senior Vice President of Operations, Jim Pulowski, our different finance folks up there, Jennifer Martins. Now this may or may not be accurate. I'm giving my best guess, but it goes to a committee and they research it and go from there. All right. I did receive a question that I do not have an answer to about the Loving Care Fund because somebody asked about if they willed money to the Loving Care Fund. Is there a difference between that and the endowment fund? So I need to get an answer, about that because the Loving Care Fund is a restricted fund, right? That can only be used for, folks for benevolence assistance, for that. So, yes.
Following up on the Loving Care Fund, it was a policy voted on by the board and implemented. So will it be looked at again to come in line with what Westminster has?
I don't know. I can certainly ask Ms. Debbie. Since we're now part of Westminster Communities of Florida, that the old Florida Presbyterian Board was dissolved. Members of that board are on the Communities Board, for Westminster Communities of Florida. We meet, each quarter. We meet with the resident council each month, and but we can certainly ask. Yeah.
Just to, keep all the I's dotted, T's crossed.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I had a question today from someone about what's going on with the Six Flags.
Question today, thank you. I didn't write that on my list. Well, it's under projects, technically. So what's going on with the Sixplex? So we, let's go real quick to the Eightplex, right? Because you got up there, you weren't at the meeting. Were you at the meeting? Okay, I'm sorry. Paula gave me such a hard time there, I forget what I was doing. But no, she didn't. So the Eightplex, in case you drive by that area, you'll see guys standing around, like construction guys do, right? There's a lot of, hurry up and wait. Right? Anyhow, they found asbestos in that building, and they're removing the asbestos is in the floor, right? So, all those old, like glued down tile floors, they're made out of asbestos because it was fire resistant. Why not, right? So they're in the process of mitigating, I think is the right word, the asbestos. So once they get rid of the asbestos, they'll come in with the bulldozers and knock the rest of that thing down. And it's my understanding that used to be, in that area over there was a nursery. And because I drove around, I was like, wow, I could get some plantings for, whatever. There's some subtropical plants over there, so I need to bring some buckets and get some plants. So it might be something we could get our grounds guys to spread around as well. So that's what's going on with the 8-plex. The 6-plex is still earmarked to be revitalized, rejuvenated, rebuilt, remodeled, turned over, right, into new units. The 6-plex is directly north of where we're at here. You might not be able to see it. So the 6-plex needs quite a bit of renovations. It needs to be tented for termites, of course. It needs a new roof on it, new hot and cold water lines. Some of the units were turned into larger studios. Those need to be converted back to, they were still pretty good sized 1-bedroom units. And the kitchen, floorings, paint, all that. Windows, they have, large plate glass windows. I don't know if those will need to be replaced or not, but quite a bit of work in there. But it's all slated, to continue on the path. Yes, ma'am. The dumpsters, I ask Rick just about every day when they're getting removed. And I haven't, he's out doctors today. John, do we get any update about when the dumpsters are leaving?
No, not yet.
All right, so we've asked the city. All right, so what's going to happen with the dumpsters is they're going away, right? Because we put, 2 big dumpsters right in front of the lake. That wasn't right. It's not very smart. Right, but what they're going to do is they're going to increase the frequency of the pickups for the remaining dumpsters to daily. Right, so instead of it being, I think, 3 times a week, what it is currently, it'll be 5 days a week. Right. So yeah, we're going to get rid of those. Hopefully trim those trees down a little bit over there. I don't know. I'm sure that'll require some sort of permit, from the city because you have to go out into the water, but hopefully they'll let us do it. All right. Anybody got any questions? It's a little after 1 o'clock, 1:10. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. Have a good day. Thank you.